Food, shopping, architecture, there are many reasons that these neighborhoods are considered must-visits around the world. Welcome to Mojotravels, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 Chinatowns across the world. Are you a fan of our videos? Be sure to subscribe to Mojotravels and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos. For this list, we're looking at the largest, most impressive, authentic and vibrant Chinatowns all around the globe. Number 10. Sydney, Australia. Though this Chinatown might be modest in size, it packs a whole lot into its relatively small footprint. Here you'll find all manner of fun trinkets, mouth-watering street food, and the beautiful classical Chinese garden. And while it might technically be Chinatown, this is very much a pan-Asian community, meaning that you can indulge in varied culinary and cultural offerings. There are actually distinct subsections of the neighborhood like Koreatown and a little Thai town. The night market, however, is without a doubt the highlight of any visit to this part of the city. Illuminated by lanterns, Little Eat Street is a bustling hub of foodie delights after the sun goes down, and is absolutely picture perfect. Of course, Melbourne's Chinatown also gives Sydney a run for its money. The city is known for its culinary prowess, and their Chinatown is no exception, with Sichuan and North Chinese cuisine being particularly well represented. Number 9. Kolkata, India. Are you the sort of traveller who values authenticity above all else? If that's the case, Chinatowns can often be an exercise in disappointment. The fact that there's such tourist attractions tend to make them very tourist-oriented. Thankfully, Kolkata's Chinatown seems wholly disinterested in changing to meet traveller expectations. It's got a distinctly unpolished quality that, while perhaps a turn-off to some, makes it one of the most authentic Chinatowns in any major city. One of the selling points of Kolkata's Chinatown is the fusion of Indian and Chinese cuisine, the highlight being a dish called Chicken Manchurian. The population might be modest compared to others on our list today, but they're fiercely proud and know how to party, especially come the Lunar New Year. Between Taoist temples and the numerous vendors, there's no shortage of things to see, eat, or do. Number 8. Manila, Philippines. This Chinatown bears a unique distinction. It's the single oldest in the world. Known locally as Binondo, it was established all the way back in 1594, and despite its age, it continues to play a crucial role within the capital city of the Philippines as a central economic hub. For foodies making the trip, Umbrella Alley is likely where you want to spend the majority of your time. The street food vendors are numerous and undeniable experts of the craft. It shows that these recipes have been perfected over decades, if not centuries. If that's not enough, consider taking one of the local food tours. There are also a number of attractions and institutions that shouldn't be missed, including the Binondo Church, Kwang Kong Temple, and the world-renowned Cafe Mezzanine. Number 7. London, England. This Chinatown might not be a particularly old one, but given that London is one of the most vibrant and cosmopolitan in the world, it's nonetheless become a major hub. It wasn't founded until the 1950s when there was an influx of Chinese immigrants, most of whom arrived from Hong Kong. And even then, it wasn't until the 1970s that it really began to take shape. Today, however, the local residents have built this neighborhood into what is widely regarded as the largest Chinatown in all of Europe. People travel from far and wide to participate in the Lunar New Year's festivities, and there's no shortage of unique businesses to visit. The plethora of restaurants represent a wide variety of regional Chinese cuisines, while the tea houses, souvenir shops, and supermarkets are similarly diverse and abundant. Number 6. Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. If shopping is the first word that comes to mind when you think of Chinatown, then a trip to Kuala Lumpur should be added to your bucket list. This is a haggler's paradise. Whether you're in the market for fashion accessories, tech, or souvenirs, you're likely to be overwhelmed with the choices available here. And though the vendors will be thrilled if you pay full price, few people do. Haggling is a big part of the neighborhood's identity. Among the most colourful and vibrant areas in the city, this neighborhood, centered on Petaling Street, is frequented by locals and tourists alike. And at night, the street evolves into a similarly bustling night market. Of course, shopping isn't the only reason to visit. Kuala Lumpur's Chinatown is also home to art galleries, numerous temples, and too many mouth-watering food carts for a single trip. Number 5. Yokohama, Japan. A trip to Japan's second largest city is one that's inherently jam-packed with delicious food and unique sights. But as much Japanese culture as you already have on your plate, it's really worth setting aside at least half a day to explore Chinatown. The largest of its kind in the country, the Yokohama Chinatown is home to somewhere in the ballpark of 200 restaurants and dates back to the mid-19th century. The largest of its kind in the country, the shops lining the streets sell all manner of traditional Chinese goods, from lanterns and incense to fashion and jewelry. But food is where Yokohama's Chinatown arguably shines brightest. In addition to all manner of dim sum and classics like Peking duck, there's also a lot of Chinese-Japanese fusion, which you're unlikely to find in Chinatowns elsewhere in the world. Number 4. Vancouver, Canada. Among the largest Chinatowns in North America, and easily one of the most popular outside of Asia, this neighborhood in Vancouver is steeped in history, flavor, and a sense of community. It can trace its roots back to the late 19th century. At the time of its foundation, there were less than 100 people living there. Over the decades, however, the steady and substantial influx of Chinese immigrants have built a strong sense of community that makes this area an absolute pleasure to visit. A mixture of traditional businesses and young upstarts, this centrally located Chinatown is at the heart of the city, though new construction does threaten its history. Of course, we can't talk about Vancouver's Chinatown without giving a nod to the one in Toronto. No trip to this bustling city is complete without a stroll down iconic Dundas Street West. Number 3. Singapore. If there's one city on this list that's put on a pedestal for its street food, it's Singapore. This island city-state is a real Pan-Asian melting pot, but China is without a doubt the best represented culture. In fact, ethnic Chinese people make up over 75% of the population. As such, this Chinatown is understandably world-class. Located in the Outram district, this Chinatown is home to a wide number of cultural and historic attractions. From the Buddha-Tooth Relic Temple, which is exactly what it sounds like, there's no shortage of things to see and do. Within Chinatown alone, there's at least a half dozen temples to visit, but we'd be lying if we said that the food markets weren't the highlight. Maxwell Food Center and Chinatown Complex are two must-visit spots for a crash course in cheap, delicious eats. Number 2. Bangkok, Thailand. As one of the most visited cities in the world, the word bustling starts to lose some of its meaning when talking about Bangkok. But even by local standards, Yaowarat Road is notably busy. Popular with locals and tourists alike, it serves as the main artery for the city's Chinatown, which has been located in this area of Bangkok for over 200 years. In addition to countless restaurants, shops, and vendors, Chinatown also boasts the over 230-year-old Sampang Market, which is an attraction in its own right. Speaking of markets that you shouldn't miss, taking a stroll to the iconic 24-hour Pak Klong Flower Market is also a must. The food in Bangkok's Chinatown is world-renowned. One can spend multiple trips eating nowhere else and hardly make a dent. As such, it's highly recommended that you sign up for a food tour. Number 1. San Francisco, United States. New York City's Chinatown deserves a nod, but we ultimately had to go with San Francisco. This celebrated West Coast Chinatown is sprawling, historic, boasts a strong sense of community, and feels utterly authentic. And given that many of the top Chinatowns in the world are located in Asia, it also bears the distinction of being more accessible for Western travelers. San Francisco's Chinatown was established in 1848, making it the oldest in North America. It's not only the continent's largest, but also the largest anywhere outside of Asia. With countless restaurants, numerous temples, shops, and theaters, it rivals the very best Chinatowns from around the globe in terms of quality and variety. The Chinese community is a crucial part of making San Francisco the city it is today, and this bustling neighborhood is a testament to that heritage. Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from Mojotravels, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.